Three very mysterious shiny lights over Breckenridge have police and residents puzzled. Just before noon today, law enforcement agencies started getting reports of UFOs. 9 News Mountain Newsroom reporter Matt Renew is joining us from Breckenridge. And Matt, many people saw these objects today, including yourself.
You bet, Mark. It has been the talk of the town around Breckenridge all day. Even if now here at 5 o'clock, I'm about the only person willing to get in front of a camera and talk about the UFOs that were flying overhead. There was 3 white dots, I'll show you, that were flying over a Breckenridge behind me late this morning. Looked as if they were hovering right over Baldy Mountain behind me. And while no one from the Breckenridge Police Department or Sheriff's Departments wanted to talk about the objects on camera, several people at those organizations saw them, and others around town reported the strange things flying over the skies of Breckenridge, sending police out to investigate these shiny, white, tiny dots in the sky. Some people off camera said they saw them form triangles and a line. On our camera, it seemed as if they didn't move at all. In fact, it took some help for most people to even see them.
The very top of the trees, and then just go to the left in the blue sky. There's all those kind of wispy clouds. Yeah. There's a white dot right in near the edge of those wispy clouds.
So just to the left of the second pine tree, there's a white dot. The FAA didn't have a comment on what these dots could be, nor had said they're not tracking any abnormalities at this time. But yesterday, a TV station in Utah reported very similar white dots appearing in the sky over Utah. The objects were visible for about 3 hours. They showed up best when the sun was reflecting off of them. Mark, we also called the Strategic Command as well, U.S. Strategic Command. They said they aren't tracking anything, but they typically track those objects that come in from outer space and then enter orbit. They believe whatever these were probably below their range of tracking.
And not drones, you don't think, Matt?
I don't think they were drones, and the folks that I talked to said they didn't look like weather balloons because at times they would just sit there for 5 or 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes without moving an inch on our view screen in the camera, and then you would see a flash of light and they would take off across the edge of the mountain ridge behind me. So it didn't appear to be drones, it didn't appear to be weather balloons, truly unidentified flying objects in the skies over Breckenridge today.
Tonight, we have never-before-seen videotape of UFOs over Colorado. 3 tapes shot by different people at different times in different places, but all look similar.
Do they show something mysterious or something mundane? Fox 31's Kim Posey asks that you decide for yourself.
What the hell is that?
Whatever this is, it's enough to get Don Baumgartner's attention.
Oh, get closer. Come and get me.
The 33-year-old shot this video in September outside his home in Deer Trail, Colorado, east of Denver. He says he woke up because his dogs were acting strangely, and there was a blue light coming through the window.
There it is again.
Baumgartner gave the video to investigators at the Colorado Mutual UFO Network.
It was clearly not an aircraft, a conventional aircraft of any kind.
Ethan Rich says he's intrigued. The pulsing ball of light seems to have a flattened top and bottom and an object inside.
It does display virtually every color of the spectrum as it's strobing.
Huge into that blue aura, and it just flew through the sky.
He says he stood there in awe, unclear of what it was.
Behind it, you could see a bunch of blue, just blue cloud. It looked.
If you noticed strange lights in the sky over the weekend, you aren't alone. KCTV5's Alan Shope went to Lee's Summit to get to the bottom of more than a dozen UFO sightings.
I mean, it's actually pretty large. It looked like it was about a mile away.
It was not something Felix Figueroa and his friends expected to see last weekend.
We'll make sure everyone immediately, while it's still fresh in their mind, draws a picture of what they saw. And so we all took out a piece of paper and we all do the same thing.
Yeah, a strange metal-looking ship hovering over Lee's Summit. Felix says he never really believed in UFOs till now.
We were all stunned. I mean, we were all just in awe. I mean, I don't even know how I didn't run off the road.
Felix is not alone. Margie Kay with the Missouri Mutual UFO Network says it was a busy weekend in Kansas City. 17 different people with sightings contacted her office this weekend alone.
This last weekend was really big. Saturday late night to Sunday morning during a 6.5-hour period, we had so far to date 17 witnesses call in about UFOs that they've seen.
No one knows if UFOs actually exist or why they'd be hanging out in the Kansas City area. One thing is for sure, for the folks who witnessed the strange events this last weekend, they wish they'd have taken pictures. Richard Vick wished he'd have taken pictures of a strange sight that he saw in the sky Saturday off 435 and 63rd Street in Missouri.
I was looking out my window towards the east. Under the tree line, there was an orange orb, and it was traveling, I'd guess, 40, 50 miles an hour. And it hit the tree line, and then it just started to move up and just exploded into like 5 balls.
As for Felix, he has a message for those who may not believe.
Definitely have second thoughts, and I would say that it's a possibility, especially after what I saw.
In Lee Summit, Alan Shope, KCTV5 News.
Strange indeed. Well, we called Whiteman Air Force Base. A spokesperson says they didn't have anything in the skies Saturday night, and they are not aware of any pending UFO investigation.
Never before seen footage of UFO sightings this year are being shown at a conference in Pontefract. Well, these pictures were shot over the summer by a lifeguard in Turkey. Extraterrestrial experts from across the world and people who claim to have been abducted by aliens will all be at the conference. Well, let's take you there live now and speak to Sky's Mike McCarthy. Mike.
Yes, as you say, a range of guests at the UFO conference here in Pontefract, including a former RAF wing commander and, as you say, a woman who says she was abducted by aliens. But the highlight, I think, of the conference is the footage that you've referred to. First time that it's been seen in the UK. It's being presented by Haktan Arkduggan, if I've got your name right there, Haktan. Tell me about this footage and why you think it's important.
Well, this extraordinary incident took place in Kumburgaz in Istanbul. It's a compound in Kumburgaz, and it was witnessed by many people who live in the compound, and it was filmed by the security guard for almost 3 hours within the period of time, like 2.5 to 3 months period of time. We have like 18 or 17 footages. And the footages are so interesting and so amazing because we don't just see the lights in the sky, we see in the close-up the outline of the object. Very clearly, the structure of the object is so clear, and also in June 12 dated footage, the UFO puts a show, and it turns its lights back and forth again from one side to another. This is amazing footage, and it's been analyzed. The whole footage has been analyzed from our scientific board for 2.5 weeks. All this footage for 2.5 hours long footage for 2.5 weeks. We went frame by frame, we went pixel by pixel, and this is 100% genuine footage.
But don't you think, I mean, you're the founder of a UFO research center in Turkey. Isn't this kind of thing quite easily done with cameras and graphics and that kind of thing nowadays? I mean, you know, do you not open yourself to the accusation that it's another hoax?
Of course, it's so normal, but also in our scientific team we have some special effect experts too. They analyze the footage, and we are ready to provide this footage, the original footage, to any institution, even in UK, any scientific institution. They can go through their own analysis, and they're going to come up with the same conclusion. After we've done all this research and analyzing this footage for 2.5 weeks, that's why we're coming forward to the world, first time in UK, and that this is 100% real footage.
Just briefly, tell us about these beings that we're seeing in some of these pictures. You say for the first time, really, very clearly.
Yeah, in the UFO history, not only this time, not only UFOs are being filmed, also in June 8th, I think, segment of the footage, we see two silhouettes of entities' heads. Is clearly, you can tell there's two heads in the craft. Not only just craft is being filmed, but also the entities is being filmed. First time ever in the UFO history. This is also what makes this footage so important worldwide.
Haktan, Duggan, thank you very much for joining us. Well, there may be a lot of skeptics around, but there are certainly also a lot of believers. The conference here for the weekend has been fully subscribed and is really packed out.
Mike McCarthy in Pontefract at that UFO conference. Thank you.
Welcome back. An unidentified object seen over the sky above the Rosedale area.
Reporter Tom Murphy has more on how one viewer brought it to our attention. Tom?
Here at Eyewitness News, we investigate stories others don't. It's what we do. But for this next story, we had to look way up in the sky to see if there was a story or not.
There it is again, it's moving.
I'm not saying it's aliens, but I just want to know.
Joseph Guzman knows how that sounds.
This is hard to believe.
But every night, Guzman looks into the sky and sees something he can't explain.
I can't believe nobody else has seen this. You could drive down Rosedale, anywhere in Bakersfield, just look up at 7:30, 7:45 towards Rosedale, and you'll see it.
He met us at a local auto shop. They've seen the light there too, and they have a friend to prove it.
But it's always glowing, and from our view, it just looks like a light.
So Guzman started shooting video of the unidentified object.
And I felt the same way you probably feel. Come on, it's a star.
So he brought the DVDs to us.
It moves and it glows. It's got a green glow, an orange, it's got two black dots. The top of it is cut off.
He's heard every logical idea.
It's Venus. You're seeing things. Oh, that's just a star. It's the North Star. Is it a balloon? It ain't a balloon, okay?
And he's heard his fair share of criticism.
I need to get glasses. I'm seeing things. How did I make that video?
He's even asked himself.
Am I seeing things or do I have it? Do I have something?
With no other explanation, he wonders, has Bakersfield become Area 661?
What it is, if it's aliens, hey, great, come on down, let's have a coffee or something. But if it ain't, why is the government watching us?
For now, Guzman watches the sky as he watches his back.
And after this video airs on 29 News and you guys don't see me for a while, maybe they came down and got me, man. I don't know. I would like to visit them.
Erica, now the shot today, video that's got all of Texas talking, probably the whole country, from iReporter Saber Bowman, who shot this on a cell phone near Stephenville, Texas.
Wow. Close encounter for the third kind.
They don't exactly sound convinced there. They seem to be kind of knocking it.
They seem to be a little bit.
Close encounter for the third kind.
It actually sounds a little bit like the
Are they drunk?
Australian kid who threw the party earlier.
If only we could see whether or not he was wearing glasses, we would know.
Exactly. It's a UFO according to witnesses, and the witnesses include local police and other public figures, the kind of people one would say are level-headed. It's described as a mile long. Some people said the object was a mile long and looked like a gigantic light show. Some folks say it appeared to be chased by fighter planes.
Dulce is a quiet, unassuming town nestled in northern New Mexico. Many of its residents are members of the Jicarilla Apache tribe. They swear.
I tell stories, but my nose isn't growing.
They are not making this up.
They threw down a ladder from that spaceship, and then two small people started climbing down.
Jerry Julian says she had her first extraterrestrial encounter right here on her Dulce ranch about 40 years ago.
It was huge. I just saw the bottom of it. It was like flat like this.
Many of her neighbors claim similar strange sightings.
Fat in the middle and kind of like rounded on the sides. You're speechless, You just don't know what to think, It's just like, it's like nothing you've ever encountered before.
Why are stories of the extraordinary ordinary here?
I do not know. I do not know. Probably kind of that big mountain we have right there,
Rumor has it there is a secret base hidden underneath the Archuleta Mesa here. The mountain overlooks Dulce. Some people in town say the base is run by aliens working with our federal government to conduct mind control and genetic experiments. Do you believe that?
Yeah. Well, a whole bunch of people seen it,
Like the ground opened up, steam coming out of it.
They also claim they've seen some creatures cooked up in those experiments, like Bigfoot and something half human.
Down this way, the waist down, it's a goat. It has a tail. But up here, it's a man.
People tell me Dulce wasn't always a center for supernatural activity, but then sometime in the 70s, things changed. That's when cows started turning up mutilated.
They just cut out in between the legs right here. We've seen one.
I know it's not a predator, it's doing it. Someone's doing it.
Local police never definitively said who's to blame. Locals say it has to be something out of this world. And since then,
I was taking a random picture, zoomed it in, and there was a UFO right there.
they say they know it sounds crazy.
They're just going to ask me, well, how much did you drink or what did you drink?
I'll submit to a lie detector test or anything, you know.
But say it's the truth. Question is, do you believe?
Anything possible these days now.